coming up tonight on TV5 News at 8.
I'm Mark Despotakis, and coming up next, an exclusive look at the new recreation center that just opened at Clarion University.
A sewer line project is delayed. Details coming up.
Hi, this is Kristen Stanton. How will the weather be this weekend for all those little trick-or-treaters out on Halloween? You'll find out coming up on the TV5 Weather Center forecast.
A driver is found nude after hitting a telephone pole. The details coming up in national news.
In sports, people mourn the death of golfer Payne Stewart and see how the Steelers did on Monday Night Football. Details coming up.
Do you fit into the fashion phone crowd? Find out coming up.
I'm Joy Strain. Join me later tonight for Entertainment Beat to hear all the latest gossip from Hollywood.
This and more as TV5 News at 8 brings coverage closer to home.
News, bringing coverage closer to home.
The anticipation has long been awaited, but finally Clarion University's Recreation Center is finally open. Good evening, I'm Christy Desort.
And I'm Brian Cook. Mark Despotakis joins us with the details. Mark?
Thanks, Christy. You're right, it has been long awaited, but this week finally the Student Rec Center on the Clarion University campus opened. It's tonight's top story. Take a look. A lot of construction. Well, this week, all of that construction is nearing completion as the new Student Recreation Center opens. We spoke with the new director of the center, Lori Sabatos, to get the scoop.
Place to be. We're open 7 in the morning to 11 at night. You don't have to fight with any of the athletic teams because this is strictly for recreation and intramurals. So, you know, they make the request, they come down here, they can use it anytime, you know.
The rec center houses a weight room, which always seems to be full, a climbing wall, which isn't open yet, and 3 courts which can be used for tennis, volleyball, and of course the most popular, basketball. And there is also an indoor track for students to enjoy.
A lot of people are using it. That's, again, the running track is open from 7 in the morning to 11 at night. And up here you see the cardio machines and stretch area for the track.
The indoor track, which I'm on now, is one of the amenities that's made just for students. So how do students feel about the new rec center?
Much nicer than what I used to go to Tippin Gym, and it has so much more to offer than what it did than at Tippin. Like, there's so many more machines. It's really open. I really like how it's really spaced out.
I especially like the track. I mean, this way I don't have to run outside during the winter and freeze. I can run in here. Nice.
We took the opportunity to talk with students working out this afternoon to get their reactions to the new recreation center.
And it's like all the equipment's really new, so I mean it's like it's fun to come here and just, you know, have a good time and work out.
It's already day 3 and you love it, right?
Yeah. Really like shocked about how big it is and how nice it is inside here. It's really nice. Yeah.
Now, the rec center is for students, but community members can buy a pass to the center for $75 a semester. But for this semester, it will only be $35 due to the center opening halfway through the semester. So get up there and check it out. Live in the newsroom, I'm Mark Despotakis. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Mark. Yesterday, Clarion Commissioners Sally Minich and David Wagner reduced the Clarion Reserve Fund from $350,000 to $87,000. The expense of $130,000 for the renovations of the jail was, however, the largest, and it created great discussion at yesterday's meeting. According to the Derrick, local citizens have mixed reactions about where the money should be spent. Many are in favor of preserving the old jail, considering its historical aspects and working conditions for the workers, while others are skeptical about investing money in an old building. Commissioner Keith Martin said he is in favor of the expenses of the area and states no tax dollars will be used to renovate the old jail. The Chestnut Street sewer line project has been delayed due to the overwhelming complaints by nearby residents. Many believe that their property will be damaged or altered in a negative way. According to the Clarion News, these concerns were addressed to authority engineers Dennis Stittinger. His response was to create a new manhole and change the route of the line. Gary Hartle of Chestnut Street asked if the route could be changed because he feels his shed will be in danger.
The Clarion County Observation Committee has expectations of making an agreement to renovate the courthouse. There has been a recent meeting along with 3 other firms to discuss such matters. Their hope is to come to an agreement by the business meetings on either November 8th or the 22nd. The main concerns for renovation will include the roof, balconies, and the clock tower. The study is expected to cost the county $1,400.
Parents in the Oil City School District went looking for answers last night to find out the reason their children were dropped off more than a mile from their regular bus stops. According to the Oil City Derrick, parents asked the school board for an explanation in last night's monthly school board meeting, but most of their questions were left unanswered. School board president Leon Kalinsky informed the parents that the driver, Greg Bonds, was the substitute driver at the time of the incident. Parents were told to contact the bus service to address their concerns. No action has been taken against Bonds at this time. According to District Business Manager and Transportation Director Susan Fisher, a new plan has been designed to prevent school bus problems in the future. The new plan states that the city's Public Works Department will notify the school district's administrative offices about any road closing that will affect the bus routes, and then the school will notify the parents. The Franklin School Board turned down a request Monday night to waive some $10,000 in tuition fees for 2 Valley Grove School District students now enrolled at Franklin High School. Cynthia Rembold asked the board to consider dropping the tuition costs for her twin daughters to attend Franklin High School. According to the Oil City Derrick, Rembold explained that her children were under the guardianship of a district resident, so they could attend Franklin High School instead of returning to Valley Grove. The guardian now has a bad heart and can no longer care for the children. She arranged for yet another guardian, but decided to retain decision-making and financial obligations on her 2 children's behalf. Although the board felt sympathetic to Rembold's request, they could not vote in her favor.
After 12 hours of searching, police arrested Titusville man for allegedly trying to kill his wife. According to the Oil City Derrick, police arrested 56-year-old Charles Johnson after he forced his way into his wife's house, attacked her with a knife. According to investigators, Janice Johnson was stabbed in her left cheek, below her right eye, and on her left side of her chest. She was treated and released from a Titusville hospital. Charles Johnson has been charged with attempted homicide, aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, and terroristic threats. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for November 4th. And Emlington residents may have to split their ambulance service with 3 other areas. The Kem Street Petersburg ambulance service could very well shut down within the upcoming months. According to the Clarion News, Rick King, an EAS board member, said that if such an event was to occur, that the Emlington ambulance service could handle the extra area.
The 1.63 acre of land will be purchased in Oil City to extend the area's bike trail. According to the Oil City Derrick, the city has plans to buy land that is along the Allegheny River, valued at $11,700. This piece of land will connect at the Oil City sewage treatment plant and stretch to the city's west end.
The Clarion County Career Center is looking for applicants to fill the position of business manager, and the response has been positive. 18 applicants have applied for the position, and the center's director, Larry Bornak, says applications are still being accepted. The position of business manager oversees various financial aspects of the facility, including the general fund, student activities, payroll preparation, and tax accounting. The deadline for submissions is Monday, November 8th. When we return, find out which areas will be affected by the readjusting project. See if this involves you. An abortion clinic may find its way to Erie. We'll have the details.
Plus, a new type of transportation is set to make its way through Clarion. All this and more straight ahead as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
In the early years, young children cannot stand on their own. Uniting parents and children is an important part of the life of a community. Stand for Children encourages people to make a personal commitment to stand for the health of children. 300,000 Americans marched in Washington, D.C. last June to support Stand for Children Day. Stand for Children seeks to lift the belief that children need our help to stand.
It's my birthday. I'm the mayor. It's my birthday.
Exercised lately?
Go for a mouthful. Go for the fun. Oh, go for cake. Cakes for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes. And it's Gopher cakes. Open wide. Stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Sad, looking back now, the things you go through in life. Scary. The worst thing about being on welfare was get my kids what they really wanted. I had to get a better life for my girls and myself. I got off welfare. I got a good job. Makes me the happiest mother in the world. I live for my girls.
We're not asking you to hire everyone on welfare, just one.
This is TV5 News at 8, anchored by Christy Desort, Brian Cook, Kristen Stetton with TV5 Weather, Martise McCree with sports. Now, from the news team bringing coverage closer to home, this is TV5 News.
Welcome back to TV5 News. A correction to a story we brought to you earlier. The Kem Street Petersburg ambulance service should be the Clarion Hospital EMS service in St. Petersburg. We apologize for any misrepresentation. Jeff Say has the night off. Here's what's happening in Clarion University news. Parking problems were the topic of discussion in Monday night's Student Senate meeting. President Dr. Diane Reinhardt, Dr. Wood Yeeney, and Joe Karg of the Clarion Transit Advisory Committee met with Student Senate to discuss a $150,000 to $200,000 transportation proposal intended to bring a bus system to Clarion. The committee suggested the student activity fee be increased by $5 per semester to reduce the cost of the project by $60,000. Students will be able to use their student identification cards to ride the bus without paying a fare. Senior citizens will also ride for free with their fares funded by the state lottery. All other members of the community will have to pay a $1 fee to ride the bus. A preliminary bus route has been set up to pass Eagle Park, continue through campus, down Main Street, and to the Clarion Mall. The buses will be in operation 7 days a week, 16 hours a day.
The 14 state-owned institutions of higher learning are hoping to be assisted financially by the State System of Higher Education's Board of Governors. The Clarion Call states that there has been an increase of over $17 million of the current appropriation. This is a 4.1% increase. The State System of Higher Education is preparing for future savings for the 14 colleges that will total approximately $29 million in the next 10 years. The Clarion Students Association Board of Directors met Tuesday to discuss the financial audit of the CSA and to look into possibly investing money into financial mutual funds. The associates were pleased to see that the board has begun to invest more money in mutual funds. This process of reinvesting dividends will increase the importance of tracking the dollar amounts reinvested and the number of shares acquired. The audit receives an unqualified opinion from the audit team. This opinion is the best opinion, stating that operations have presented fairly all material respects from the final position. A Clarion County guard faces charges for allegedly dispensing a controlled substance into an inmate. A Clarion News is reporting that Timothy Slagle of Fairmont City allegedly gave an inmate, John Brooks, a dose of Darvocet without an oral written prescription from a physician or pharmacist. According to Brooks, Slagle bought him a large pink pill and told him it would take care of his pain and put him to sleep. The incident came to the attention of jail officials when Brooks informed the prison doctor about the pill. The pill was analyzed by the doctor and determined that it was Darvocet. At this time, Slagle is facing charges for allegedly violating a law regarding professional prescription, administration, and dispensing of drugs.
Residents and businesses in the Cowansburg, Strattonville, and Sigel zip codes are receiving new addresses. According to the Clarion News, the new address change is part of the countywide 911 readdressing project. A 9 x 12-inch notification packet has been sent to area residents with information about their new addresses. Other information included in the packet is a change of address card for Pennsylvania driver's license, photo identification, and vehicle registration. Any questions concerning the address change are asked to call the addressing team project office between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. at 1-800-223-5972. Taking a look at state news, Erie may be getting its first abortion clinic in at least 15 years. A doctor who opened a clinic in State College and oversees several clinics in New Jersey has purchased 4 suites at the downtown Erie office building. The plans for the suites are not available at this time. We'll keep you updated as information becomes available.
Pennsylvania Governor Tom Ridge began a 3-day trip to Washington and California today. Ridge began his trip this morning by speaking to an entertainment industry group, the Wednesday Morning Club, in Beverly Hills. Tomorrow, Ridge is scheduled to meet with Microsoft founder Bill Gates to discuss potential partnerships with officials from the giant software company. Along with the 3-day technology mission, Ridge will make stops at meetings hosted by Hewlett-Packard, fiber optic company, Global Crossing Limited, internet company Excite at Home, and software company Oracle.
A vote was taken today by the Pittsburgh City Council on whether to place baskets at fire stations for desperate mothers to leave their unwanted babies. Hundreds of homes in the Pittsburgh area already take part in the Baskets for Babies program, started after some mothers threw their babies away. We'll update you tomorrow on TV5 News on the result of the vote. After 5 years and 2 strikes since their last contract expired, Wilkinsburg teachers voted on a new agreement yesterday. Both teachers and school boards say no details will be released until after the school board holds its ratification vote tonight.
Officials at Overnight Transportation Company say a Teamsters strike at terminals in Pennsylvania and 10 other states is having a negligible impact on company operations. According to officials, most of the pickets are Teamsters from other companies, not overnight employees. The National Labor Relations Board held elections earlier today for registered nurses and technical employees at Uniontown Hospital. The issue being voted on is whether they will be represented by Pennsylvania State Education Association, Health Care, and Collective Bargaining. We'll let you know about the results of the vote as soon as they become available. Straight ahead on TV5 News, the U.S. mourns the death of yet another legend athlete. We'll have the story coming up.
Gary Martin will be here with this week's financial report, and Martise McCree gives us the highlights from yesterday's Steelers game and this week's World of Sports. It's straight ahead as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
Thanks for joining us here on TV5 News. Investigators continued their search today into what caused yesterday's Payne Stewart plane crash in South Dakota. According to the National Transportation Safety Board Vice Chairman Robert Francis, the wreckage is buried deep in the ground and could take some time to sort through. One of the theories being drawn about the crash is that everyone aboard apparently lost consciousness due to the sudden cabin decomposition. Federal Aviation Administration records show that the plane had logged more than 10,000 hours of service with no serious mechanical problems. Francis also explained that the investigation will take some time.
Payne Stewart's caddy can thank his family for saving his life. Instead of staying in Florida and flying with Stewart as planned, Mike Hicks instead took his family to their most recent tournament near Orlando, Florida, and returned with them to North Carolina. According to Hicks' mother, the two were very close. Hicks has been waiting Stewart's arrival in Texas for another tournament this week. A 10-year-old Colorado girl decided to act as the designated driver and take the wheel after discovering that her father was drunk. The girl ended up losing control of the truck, crashing the car into an embankment. Both father and daughter were injured in the crash. The girl broke both her legs and ankle, and her father had only minor cuts. State police say the father was drinking beer at the time of the crash. He has been cited for allowing a minor to operate a motor vehicle.
Investigators want to know why a man who crashed a car in Santa Cruz, California, wasn't wearing any clothes. Police say the incident began yesterday when a 19-year-old Ranjan Sen decided to take a walk at the University of California wearing nothing and got hit by a car. Sen then jumped into the car and took off, smashing into a tree. Sen is in critical but stable condition at this time. Police say there is no indication that under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
TV5's Gary Martin is here to tell us about retirement plans in this week's Financial Beat. Gary?
If you have a 401k or other tax-qualified plan at work, consider yourself fortunate. Your earnings grow tax-deferred, so they accumulate much faster than if you paid taxes on them every year. But sooner or later, you'll leave your job and you'll have to decide what to do with your retirement plan money. Basically, you have 4 choices. You can leave the money in your plan if the plan allows it. You can roll it into an IRA. You may be able to roll your retirement funds into your new employer's plan, or you can take your retirement money as a lump sum distribution. However, you'll owe income tax on your distribution, and you may also owe an early withdrawal penalty. Each choice has pros and cons, so be sure to consult your investment professional and tax advisor before making any decisions. With TV5's Financial Beat, I'm Gary Martin, your Clarion Edward Jones investment representative, member SIPC.
If there is a topic you would like to see on Financial Beat, send it to us at TV5 Becker Hall, Clarion University, Clarion, PA 16214. We are not able to answer individual letters concerning financial advice. The cold weather is in the air. Will we see snow flurries anytime soon? Well, Kristen Stanton is here to tell us just what kind of weather we can expect in the Clarion area. Kristen?
Thanks, Christy and Brian. I'm Kristen Stanton here with your TV5 Weather Center forecast for Clarion and its surrounding area for the week of Halloween. Let's first take a look at our satellite map across the country. You can see the cloud cover throughout the country, but really no precipitation. So let's take a look at our frontal maps, and you can see the front, which is moving through this area right about now, causing a slight cool down in temperatures, but not very much. We're still going to be fairly warm throughout the week. If you take a look once again, no precipitation across the country, and also if you look at our local radar, absolutely no precipitation. So beautiful day for today and the next couple of days. If you take a look at our highs, once again, most of the country is fairly warm, especially up here in the north, so we're feeling a little bit warmer temperatures. And if you also take a look at our lows, you can see, once again, the temperatures are still cool, especially up here in the north. We've been around in the lower 30s for our lows, but now we're moving up to the high 30s and around low 40s for our low temperatures at night. If we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see that tomorrow will be around 50, low about 34. Thursday, it's going to be mostly sunny with highs in the mid-60s and low around 30. Same again Friday, except a few clouds move in, high in the mid-60s, low in the upper 30s. Saturday, it'll be mostly cloudy, high of 64 and low of 38. And Sunday, it's going to be rainy with highs in the mid-50s. And also, don't forget, Saturday this weekend, make sure to turn your clocks back. It's fall back time. Back to you, Christy and Brian.
Thanks, Kristen. Coming up on TV5 News, Joy Strain will give us the latest information into Hollywood in this week's Entertainment Beat. Martise McCree will give us some scores and highlights from the world of sports, and Kristen Stanton will return to give us one last look at your Clarion area forecast.
Stay with us as TV5 News brings coverage closer to home.
Welcome back to TV5 News. I'm Martise McCree. As Arnold Palmer said, yesterday was one of the most terrible tragedies of modern-day golf. In a tragic plane crash, Payne Stewart, along with 4 others, were killed. Stewart was the champion of the U.S. Open. As the PGA Golf Tour practice began on Monday, colleagues and fans were stunned to hear about the crash. And today's Pro-Am, that is part of the Tour Championship, was canceled. Stewart graduated from SMU in Dallas with a business degree in 1979, but traveled around the world golfing. Stewart is survived by his wife Tracy and 2 children, Chelsea and Aaron. There will be a memorial service Friday in Orlando. After honoring Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, and the All-Century team, the New York Yankees took the lead in the World Series 2-0. The Yankees beat the Atlanta Braves 7-2 Sunday night. Chuck Knobloch, Derek Jeter, and Paul O'Neill each started the game with singles. With 2 outs, Tino Martinez and Scott Brocious had RBI singles. In the third, Kevin Millwood scored off of Ricky Leedy's double. Game 3 will be played tonight in New York. The New England Patriots beat the Denver Broncos 24-23. Terry Allen, who rushed for 106 yards, his season high, and 2 touchdowns, led the Patriots to break their 11-game losing streak with the Denver Broncos. The Patriots haven't beaten the Broncos since 1980. Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk led the St. Louis Rams to a win against the Cleveland Browns 34-3. Faulk rushed for 133 yards and had a 33-yard touchdown. Warner threw 3 touchdown passes, 2 of those were to Roland Williams. The Rams remain undefeated and the Browns still remain winless. In Pittsburgh last night, the Steelers won a nail-biter against the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers were up 13-0 until Falcons quarterback Chris Chandler threw a 5-yard touchdown pass to Terrence Mathis with 3:39 left on the clock. After 4 tries, the steel curtain fell and held the Falcons at the 1-yard line. The Steelers got the ball back but couldn't get a first down to run time off the clock. So Pittsburgh then took a safety to avoid a blocked punt. Chandler couldn't find Timothy Dwight for the touchdown and the win. The Steelers won 13-0. In Clarion Sports, IUP shut out the Clarion Golden Eagles 26-0 on Saturday. The Indians' defense held the Golden Eagles to -5 yards rushing. Indians quarterback Brian Eierman threw a 17-yard touchdown pass to Carmelo Ocasio. Their second touchdown was the result of a Clarion fumble with 10:23 left in the half. Terrence Wilson, who rushed for 108 yards per game, ran a 74-yard touchdown pass. The last Indians touchdown was scored by Amir Dew. That's it for sports. I'm Martise McCree. Back to you, Christy and Brian.
Thanks, Martise. The entertainment world is buzzing with the latest Hollywood gossip. Joy Strain is here with all the details in this week's Entertainment Beat. Joy?
Thank you and good evening. Welcome back to another tattletale edition of Entertainment Beat. Matthew McConaughey memorably played a permanent stoner in 1993's Dazed and Confused, and now we may have learned that he may not have been acting. The 29-year-old star was reportedly arrested yesterday morning on drug charges in Austin, Texas, and he is currently in the Travis County Jail where he is awaiting booking, according to the Associated Press. A sheriff's office spokesman told the wire service the actor will be charged with the possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting transport. When he reached for comment, the Austin Police Department would not confirm or deny the arrest. McConaughey's rep has not yet responded. The Texas native became famous virtually overnight after a smoking performance with Sandra Bullock in 1997's A Time to Kill. Most recently, he sharpened his acting chops in Ed TV with outspoken hemp booster Woody Harrelson. And the blossoming relationship between Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas was given the full establishment seal of approval at a glittering party held by the British ambassador in Washington. The 30-year-old Welsh actress and the 50-year-old newly divorced Douglas joined guests including First Lady Hillary Clinton and Culture Secretary Chris Smith at the ambassador's Millennium Ball. The couple, who have been together since the summer, are widely expected to be hosting a major party of their own soon to announce their engagement. Rumors of impending marriage have been widespread, especially since Douglas divorced his wife of 22 years, Deandra, was finalized earlier this month. That's all the talk in Tinseltown I have for this week. Join me again next week for another meddling edition of Entertainment Beat. For TV5 News, I'm Joy Strain.
Thanks, Joy. And now for one final look at your Clarion area forecast. Here's Kristen.
Thanks. Let's take a look one more time at our weather leading up to the Halloween weekend. You can see tomorrow it'll be high around 50, mostly sunny. Once again, sunny on Thursday, high in the mid-60s, and straight through the weekend it's going to be around the mid-60s. So it should be fairly warm for Halloween this weekend. And once again, don't forget to set your clocks back an hour on Saturday night. Thanks, and back to you.
That wraps up this week's edition of TV5 News. Tune in again tomorrow at 8 as Christy Herman and Dave Marsh bring you the latest local, state, and national news.
For Christy Desort, Mark Despotakis, Kristen Stanton, Martise McCree, and the entire TV News team, good night.